very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. We are here today for Mother's Day webinar. And I, on behalf of ECDF, warmly welcome you all to today's special Mother's Day webinar. The topic today we have chosen is Heart Over Pressure, Rethinking Motherhood and Professional Balance. This webinar is in collaboration with Tender Petals Preschool Chain that has its presence all across northeastern India. Well, motherhood is often described as a journey of love, sacrifice, and strength. But alongside that love, there is also an unspoken pressure. The pressure to do it all, to be fully present at work while being fully available at home, and to somehow do both perfectly. Today, we pause to question that expectation. What if balance doesn't mean perfection? What if choosing heart over pressure means allowing ourselves to redefine success, not as doing everything, but as doing what truly matters with intention and compassion? This session is about opening that conversation. It's about acknowledging the realities many mothers face, celebrating their resilience, and exploring healthier, more sustainable ways to navigate both profession and personal roles. As we mark Mother's Day, let's take this opportunity not just to celebrate mothers, but to support them by rethinking norms, sharing experiences, and building a more understanding and flexible environment for all. As we begin, it will give me immense pleasure to introduce our wonderful panel of speakers, an inspiring group of women from diverse walks of life, each bringing unique experience of motherhood, leadership, education, and professional growth. First, we have Reena Day, franchise and principal of Tender Petals Rehabari, Guwahati. Reena ma'am devoted nearly 27 years of her life nurturing young minds at Don Bosco School before stepping into the world of early childhood education and leadership. Welcome, Reena. Next, we have Soma Das, franchise and center head of Tender Petals Beltola Center, Guwahati. Soma made a courageous career transition to enter the early childhood space, choosing to build something of her own. Today, she finds immense purpose, satisfaction, and joy in this journey. Welcome, Soma. Joining us is Shanti Mahesh, Center Head and Franchise of Tender Petals VIP Center. Beginning her journey as a teacher, she nurtured a dream of owning her own preschool. And today she stands as a successful entrepreneur in the field of early education. Welcome, Shanti. We also have Sunita Das, Center Head of Tender Petals Geetanagar Center, Guwahati. Known for her warmth, energy, and professionalism, Sunita brings years of experience along with creativity and innovation into her workplace. Welcome, Sunita. Joining us from our head office is Indrani Chaudhary Deka, a valued member of our academic team and also a Tender Petals parent. Her 4-year-old daughter is a part of our Beltola Center, giving her both professional and parental perspective. Welcome, Indrani. We are also delighted to have Sheshri Shinghai with us, a parent from Tender Petals Geetanagar Center, whose son Divik studies with us. As a businesswoman balancing professional commitment and motherhood beautifully, she brings a valuable real-world perspective. Welcome, Sheshri. And last, but certainly not the least, we have Neeta Barua, a dedicated facilitator from Tender Petals Downtown Center, who also experienced the journey of motherhood firsthand. Welcome, Neeta. Today, through this diverse and inspiring panel, we explore conversations around motherhood, professional aspirations, personal growth, and the evolving journey of work-life balance. So let's hear from these incredible women their stories of strength, resilience, and purpose. So today's session will have two parts to it. First is a quick question that I'll ask all our panelists, and that's a common question. and it will be for about 1 minute time where our speakers would tell about their view on this question. And then we will have a round where we have individual questions, and we move from one speaker to the other, and that would, give a insight into their life, into their profession, and into their motherhood journey. So let me begin with Indrani Chaudhary Deka. My question to you, which is a common question for all our speakers today, is what does heart over pressure truly mean in the context of modern motherhood today? Over to you, Indrani.
Good afternoon, everyone. Heart over pressure for me, it means choosing compassion, connection, love for our little ones over the pressure of being a perfect mom. We should let go of that pressure, which basically comes from the society through constant comparison of our children. All those advices, that constant advices that comes on nutrition, screen time, potty training, and most importantly, gentle parenting. And as moms, we always tend to carry that invisible load of working, managing our household chores, and also being present emotionally for our child 24/7. So, heart over pressure for me, basically, it means having a boundary. I'll take the advice that serves my family and my child and leave out the rest, which doesn't mean important to me. My focus is my child's well being and my own sanity, not external approval. So I'll always choose my intuition over burdening myself with the constant pressure from the external environment. So that's what I think.
Thank you, Indrani. Very well said. Prioritizing what we want in our lives besides societal expectations. So I'll move on to Shoma.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening and a very happy Mother's Day to all. I feel truly honored to have this opportunity to share my thoughts on this special day. So, heart over pressure simply, I mean, raising a child with compassion instead of competition, and choosing love and positive support over family and societal expectations. I think the mother should choose child's emotional well being very first. For me, a heart over pressure is not weakness. It is a conscious, strong, and meaningful choice in today's demanding world.
Thank you. Very beautifully answered. Compassion over competition and the choices that we make in our lives. Over to Sheshri.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to all beautiful mothers. Heart over pressure. I think Miss Soma and Miss Chaudhary beautifully said that we are under so much of pressure of the society that it's a need of the hour that we need to realize that we need to start giving importance to the emotional needs of the child as well as the mother. Always we think about, oh, their child is doing better, their age is right, and we compare lots and lots of things and start pressurizing ourselves and our kids. In a long run, it is affecting their mental health. Though maybe your kid will get good marks in few exams, however, they will always be having this pressure for their life. So, what we do today, everything, what we say, what we do, our actions, everything will be shaping their future. So, I think it's high time that we should start treating our kid as individual, not just like the herd that okay, this kid is that, so my kid has to be the same.
Very, very rightly said. Emotional needs of the child and the mother, that comes as a priority when we talk about heart over pressure. And moving on to Reena, what is your view on?
Yes, I agree. We should take into consideration the emotional need of the child over all other things. Nowadays, parents, especially moms, they suffer from a sense of guilt that they are not able to give enough time to their child, or they are not able to, do all the things that they would have liked to do for their child. But then it is necessary that we strike out a balance between our work and other things and our child. Spending quality time with them is of utmost necessity, and this will help in the emotional growth of the child. I think that will be a better way of handling the pressure today.
Absolutely, being guilt free. That is one word that is so much attached to motherhood. We always feel guilty about not giving enough time, not doing enough, not able to meet the needs. All the time there's a lot of pressure, and we feel that guilt surfacing in our lives through the pressure. Over to you, Shanti.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to you, to all the mothers. Thank you so much, the panel, to giving me such a wonderful opportunity to share my ideas. Even I wanted to tell the same thing. Mothers having pressure between the heart and the society pressure. So how to balance it? But the child only needs the hug and care of the mother. They don't know anything else more than the more than what they need. But always as a mother, we always having the society pressure. My child want to learn dance, art, all those activities. So we try to put them in the all the activities to make our child more bright and successful, but which the child doesn't need. So we could not balance over there what is the heart between the heart and the society pressure. So I would suggest first we need to provide the child hug and the love they need between the preschool time. They need more in that, more than the other activities. That one they will learn gradually, and we should not compare with other children. So that is my point of view through this question. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Very well said. The balance. That is where we lose, because we lose that balance and we go overboard, and that actually kind of gives a lot of pressure to the child as well. Over to you, Sunita.
A very good evening to all. I wish all the wonderful mother a very happy Mother's Day. It's a very important question that a ma'am has put to us. This phrase, heart over pressure, actually, the word mother is not just a word. It sounds to be the safest place for a child. If a mother stops comparing his or her child with other kids, that becomes a very easy life for a child. He or she will be facing the challenge that the society is putting into, as he will be knowing that my mom is with me and I'm not pressurized by, at least by my mom. So I understand that every mother has a very challenging role because she has a heart, and also she has a pressure from the society to make her child one of the perfect uh, one of the perfect citizen of a country. So I would suggest, as a mother, we should always give preference to love and care of taking her child, instead of more thinking about the society and making her child pressurized, and also herself putting into pressure into this challenging world. So, being a mother, I always suggest to give the safest place to my child where he or she can share each and every feelings without crushing his or her emotional feelings of his own. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Very beautifully said. I really like the place, the safest place. Mother's hug, mother's love is for the child the safest, I would say. And that goes without saying, because as a child also, how much attached we were with our mother, and how much when they have our backs, it feels so good. Over to you, Neeta.
Hello everyone, good evening and happy Mother's Day to all lovely mothers. So this question I will answer that कि बच्चे को हमेशा सेफ प्लेस की जरूरत होता है घर में. सो ओवरऑल जो हम लोग को प्रेशर आता है एक्सटर्नल, जो मतलब जो बच्चे ये नहीं कर रहा है वो नहीं कर रहा है, ऐसे प्रेशर नहीं करना है बच्चों के ऊपर. सो उन लोगों को घर में सेफ फील करवाना है, और एज ए प्रोफेशनल एंड पर्सनल दोनों लाइफ के साथ बच्चे को प्यार से हैंडल करना चाहिए. सो दैट इज, थैंक यू.
Lovely, Nita. The safe feeling. So when we are looking at this first, introductory question for all the speakers, what we could find is balance in life. Giving your child a safe place, meeting the emotional needs of the child, not feeling guilty about certain things we are not able to do, prioritizing what we want in life and what is best for the child, meeting the emotional needs of the children. So it is basically, when we are talking about motherhood, everybody is taking the side of the word which is heart, and nobody is taking the side of the word pressure. And we are actually so much pressurized in today's world that we can see so many incidences happening with our young children who actually need a heart more than somebody who is pressurizing them. So now we move to the second section part of this webinar. And my first question to Reena ma'am, which I have for you is, as a preschool principal and a mother to a young adult, her son is grown up now. How has your parenting journey evolved from the early years to adulthood?
Thank you, Vasvi, for asking me this. Hello, everyone, once again. Wishing you all amazing moms out there a very happy Mother's Day. Now, being a new mom is a challenge. And when you're surrounded by doting grandparents, then it becomes a bit more so. Because as a teacher, I've been a teacher all my life. So, as a teacher, you want to discipline your child. You want certain behavioral issue. I mean, behavior you expect from your child, like punctuality, then respecting elders. All these things you want to inculcate in your child. But then having doting grandparents around, this becomes a little difficult. I think the same problem was faced by a number of parents from my preschool also. They came with this issue to me. But then the what we can do in this instance and what I did is I set some boundaries. I had a discussion with the grandparents and I told them that, see, you all would have done or have done the same thing. So now it's time for me to discipline my child. So this is one area I will not allow anyone to interfere. So, of course, they were all very intelligent and educated people, and they really understood this very fast. And I didn't have much problem after that. They were all very supportive. Now, as time went on, the digital age became a big issue. Now, this was a big challenge because, children today, they keep demanding screen time. They want internet access. And it is very difficult for the mom to say no to the child. But at this time, we need to remember that some sacrifices must come from the parents also. Now, if we ourselves are devoting our time to social media or watching TV all the time for entertainment purposes, then we are setting a very poor example for the child. So, what I did myself, I limited my screen time and my engagement with the social media. Only work related I did, and whatever entertainment I wanted, it was after my child went to bed. After he went off to sleep, I uh, allowed myself to do this. So this had a good effect because I was also having discussions with him, telling him, making him understand why too much of screen time is not good for us, how it affects our eyesight, how we may have digestion problems, insomnia, and our creativity also gets destroyed. So slowly, I could make him understand these points. So, as I said, we need to make a few sacrifices in this regard. Now, one thing that as I during this journey, I learned that it is very important that we have a trusting um, uh, towards each other. That I should trust my child, and my child can trust me. This type of mutual trust, this bond, should be created, and this can be created only by communication. If we always have open dialogue with each other, like whenever we are trying to make any decision for him, we try to include my child also in such discussions. We may not always adhere to what he's saying, but at least he's part of the discussion. So he feels that his word also carries weight. So in doing this, I found that whenever he was facing any problem in later years, I was the first person he would come running to for advice, because he knew that this was a place where he can trust, he can get trust, he can get understanding. So this type of mutual bond is very necessary to develop between mother and child. Now, as the years move on, they they have many friends. Not the social circle widens, and they have many friends which are not known to us. But then, not knowing the friends is not a good thing. So we need to monitor their social circle. For this reason, we need to be very subtle about it. But what I used to do is once in a while, I used to invite them over, maybe for a birthday party, for a get together, and try to talk to them and get to know them. Even their parents were invited, so that we know the social circle in which my child is moving. And with more, as he grew up into an adult, there were the next stage that came is career choices. Now, in the present day, there are a vast number of career choices available to all the kids. And even we ourselves, the parents ourselves, and the child themselves, they are all very confused as to which career options they can follow. But I have found that we need to stay abreast with the times. We need do a lot of research, find out more. And then I also found that there are lots of resource persons available. There are counselors, there are institutions who can guide us, guide the child. And finally, we can help the child to choose a career option which will help, which is suited to his aptitude. And this will help him in leading a successful career in future. Now, uh, to conclude, I would say that parenting is an ongoing process and it never really ends. And throughout this, moms have to assume various roles, whether it is as a friend, a facilitator, a counselor, or a motivator, and so on. So many roles we fulfill. And uh, by maintaining proper balance within our, if you are a working mother, with a work and a home front, and having open communication with our child, we can perform our duties and have a good relationship with the kids too. Thank you.
Thank you, Reena. Very beautifully said, like a story where you touched upon very important things, the role of parents in rearing a child, and then the role of grandparents in the same house, and how we can, as mothers, because generally, even if in Indian society, even if we are mothers, it's always like till you yourself don't become a grandparent, you are still treated like somebody who doesn't know. So there's a lot of advice coming from everywhere, but at the same time, we need to draw our boundaries. Screen time is very beautifully explained because as your son transitioned, into teenage and all, that time the screen had come over, and now it has taken over. Now I would say the bonding that you mentioned is really, really important because I can feel as a mother, yes, this bonding, and with a boy or with a girl, any child of any gender, if you have, it is very easy in the motherhood journey. And then monitoring the friends, that is something I secretly do myself as well. And that is so important because at the end of the day, I feel that children are also shaped a big way by the kind of people they mix up with, and then the career options. So Reena actually covered the entire story very beautifully, and from phase to phase it was covered. And thank you so much for such a well-rounded answer. And from you, I would move on to Shoma, where I would like to, to ask her about her motherhood journey, in the sense that uh, what does motherhood look and feel now compared to when your child was little? So here we would want to hear more about what are the different things that happened in this journey from Soma. So over to you, Soma.
Thank you, ma'am, for choosing me to share my thoughts and feelings on the topic, what does motherhood look and feel like now compared to my child was little. So first of all, I would like to begin with the beautiful Sanskrit phrase Matru Devo Bhava, which means mother is God. In our society, we keep the place of a mother in a God place. This simple but yet profound thought reflects the role, responsibility, and position of a mother since ancient times in our society. Perhaps that's why becoming a mother is one of the most precious and transformative moments in every woman's life. If I relate all the wonderful women present here, I am sure we all remember that overwhelming and emotional moment when we first learned that we are going to be a mother. From that very moment, life begins to change in every women's life, whether we are homemakers or professionals. I still remember after going through so many medical complications, the moment I first saw my son's face, that one moment changed everything. I got a new meaning to my life. At that time, I was working in the medical sector in a private institution. That phase of life was very challenging. I tried my level best to balance my professional responsibilities with my journey of motherhood. But at a point, I realized that I was not able to give him sufficient time what he deserved. And that brought a sense of guilt within me. And finally, I stepped away from my career after almost 10 years of my service. I think even today, many of mothers after 20 years go through this phase. This may be for lack of family support. At that time, I realized something very important. If I ever wanted to rebuild my career, I needed to raise my child to be self dependent and responsible. I don't want to brought him as a pampered child, though he is one single son, means boy child in our family. And as Rina ma'am said, grandmothers, grandparents, contribution always is positive and negative is a mixed reaction. And one thought is always in me that I don't know. I always till now I believe that life is unpredictable. So today I'm here with him, but I never know what happens tomorrow. So I think true responsibility as a parent, as a mother, is to prepare my child to face any situation with strength and confidence, even if I am with him or I am not with him. So when my child was little, motherhood was extremely busy, very active, and it is a constant process. It was in the very small things, in every small things, feeding, caring, teaching, so many sleepless nights, and always bring alert along with his health condition, also mental condition, my along with my professional responsibilities and family members' expectations. Though it was tiring, but also very beautiful because that time I was his whole world. But today, motherhood feels different, and after teenage, I think we feel lonely somewhere. So now it is about stepping back, giving him space, and trusting the values I have imparted in him. Earlier, I held his hand to help him walk. Now, I stand behind him, giving him the confidence, the strength to work of his own, that he can take his own decision, his own responsibility. And that's what I want to say today. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Soma. Very beautifully said about the motherhood journey. Yes, being a mother is really, really. I felt like it was a miracle after my son was born. I thought that how did this happen? The first night when when in the hospital, and that feeling I is never replaced by any life success that I have seen so far. And that night I was really wondering. I felt, are we God that we can give birth to somebody who is alive? Another thing, I felt like that. And now my cousin, she's a new mother, and I just wrote to her that maybe you got that same feeling which I got, like it was as if we were gods. And then, yes, very importantly, self-dependent. We may have to make our children self-dependent, and in today's world, it is very, very much called for. And also, I would like to add here, which Shoma said, the value of mother's time. Many times mothers are taken for granted, and mother's time is not valued. But I have always set boundaries with my son. Whenever, if even now, if he calls me and suddenly asks me something that give me this, give me that, I would always tell him, have you asked me where I am, what I am doing right now? You suddenly call and you think that I'm at your beck and call, but is it the right thing to do? So we always have to set our boundaries. We always have to make them understood the value of a mother, and that the mother is not somebody who is just like that. She has a life of her own, and she is doing her best. So that thing they need to appreciate. And very beautifully said some of the points I have written down from Soma. Happiness and confidence, that is what we want our children to be, and that is what we are not seeing in children today, because there's so much of pressure. Children going to IITs are taking the extreme step. When they are in IIT, just imagine, and yet they are taking the extreme step. How sad it would be. The value of the child's life is much more important than a degree from a IIT and a IIM, right?
Yes.
So we have to understand that the happiness and confidence. And I think you are setting a right example, both you and Rina, as mothers. And I'm so happy that we have a Tender Petals family which are actually portraying the right ways in which we can be mothers and teachers, because again, right after the mother, it's a teacher who is a second mother of a child.
Exactly.
We are putting the right examples in front of our mothers and the right example as a teacher, what best can we do? So moving on from Shoma to our next speaker. I'm talking about mother. So I'll come to a speaker who is a mother. Now coming to Sheshri. As a mother, you juggle multiple roles because you are a mother of a child who's coming to my company center. So I meet you regularly and I see you running here and there because there's a lot of things, a lot of chores, errands, and also your professional life. So where do you see the biggest shift needed in mindset, system, or support in terms of a mother and a professional life balancer?
Thank you, ma'am, for this question. I think the first thing which need to be changed or the mindset that it's not only a mother's duty or responsibility to raise a child. It's a joint responsibility of a father, of grandparents, of even a sibling or somebody. It's not only a sole responsibility of a mother because she gave birth to a kid. So, what we all are going through, what my mother, how she raised me, and how I am raising my two kids are worlds apart. Because she was a homemaker, still there are a lot of homemakers. But now, since we want to make something out of our career, we are struggling a lot between being a good mother or rather a perfect mother and try to do something good even professionally. And it actually stress, it's stress out, it is exhausted. So more than a nurturing mother, we are becoming an exhausted mother where we are trying to do everything. However, we are not able to do it 100%. We are not able to give. We are always having a guilt of not able to participate in some of the programs, or we are always guilty. either professionally or personally. So we come from a society where it's a patriarchal society where a man is considered that okay, you are supposed to earn, and a mother, even if you're working, is supposed to be the provider for the kid. As a woman, we are doing a lot of multitasking, and for that we need support. It's high time that we should start seeking support. We should start looking for people. Not necessary that as a mother you need to prepare food for your kid. You're going 9 in the morning, not necessary. You can hire a cook, you're earning. There should not be a guilt about that. Okay, why? Oh, you can't make food for your kid. You're taking help. So take take the support of even the helps or even the grandparents, of even a father, to start removing that burden you have as a mother. When it's a gift given to us only as women, we can become mother. The 9 month we have to carry the things, the medically, emotionally, everything we go through. Unfortunately, everything is just normalized that okay, it's okay. What pain we go through, postpartum, prepartum, everything is just normalized. So I went for my cesarean delivery and it was like, oh, it's so easy, you know. So I was like, okay, maybe it's easy. But when I went through, I understood the pain. So when my friends went for the cesarean, I told it's not going to be easy, but you can do it. I have supported them, preparing them mentally that everything is not normal. Even for a normal delivery, you go through a lot of pain. Though it is considered to be the safest, the best, and everything, however, a mother goes through a lot of pain. So, as women, we should not start normalizing everything. We should start just speaking about that. Okay, everything has its own, problems. So at least the other person is prepared for it. So now a lot of MNCs are doing a lot for working mothers. However, it's just only restricted to the MNCs. Not every professional, as a teacher, if you go to a small company, not everywhere you get the treatment that, oh, you became a mother, you need this, you need that. No, it is considered, okay, you join the office, start working. A lot of mothers go through a lot of trouble postpartum. I have seen people struggling postpartum depression, which is never spoken about. How many of us actually know about the depression we go through? We just feel, oh, why I'm sad. And I understood. I was crying after my son was born. So I was like, what's wrong with me? I should be happy. My family is completed. Then I came to know, okay, I am suffering from postpartum depression. It will go with time, or if it does not, I need to seek medical help. So it was not told. Since now we have internet, so we know a lot. However, 15 years back, 20 years back, we had no clue about it. It will be generalized to people. Oh, she's not a good mother. Oh, she doesn't care for her kid anymore, properly, and like that. We always give a tag to it. As a mother, as friends, we should support everyone. If you hear somebody complaining, you know what, I'm not able to get up in the morning for my kid, for my kid's school, it should not be taken, oh, why you can't do that? Just be with that person and just say that I understand, it happens to me a lot of time, where I find it I'm sleeping late and I'm not able to get up, I'm tired, I'm worn out, I'm exhausted. However, you need a support, even in your family, even professionally, that okay, you're doing good, you can do better. So we as a mother start not generalizing the word perfect mom. There is nothing called perfect mom. We started using this word a lot, and I'm very happy that we are doing this webinar, and I got to hear a lot of good things from Reena ma'am and Soma ma'am, and so thank you so much for that. And thank you so much, Dr. Vasavvi, to invite me for this webinar. I don't know how much I have covered the topic. However, I'm just taking out what is there in my mind. what I am going through as a mother of raising two kids. There is a lot of pressure on kids, and there are a lot of things happening, the wrongdoings. So I think we need to change that. We need to start standing up, start talking about, and tell our kids that it's okay. However, as a mother, we need to start enjoying our motherhood, because this is the not everybody on earth is lucky to enjoy this. So I'll just end here and
Lovely. I could get your story, to the core, in the sense that I think it's like every mother speaking. In Indian society, it's high time we start taking joint responsibility of parenthood. It is not only about motherhood, it's something like parenthood that needs to come about together, and we have to raise our sons to understand this. I mean, as a mother, how we are raising our son will again determine what kind of life his partner is going to have with him. And as a mother, that is why it is, we call it a vicious cycle at time, because mothers are not teaching the right things to the sons, and the sons on the other hand do not know what to expect, and they feel that it is a mother who is always ready for them, and tomorrow the wife is going to take up that responsibility, where the wife is always ready for them. So here we have to, do a reality check and actually understand that these are roles which are joint roles, and it is a joint responsibility. And yes, we live in a patriarchal society where there are a lot of gender stereotypes, and we are doing away with the stereotypes, because now there's a lot of exposure, lot of digital things, a lot of movies coming up, a lot of things. The Mrs. movie, it's such a strong message that has come up to the society. And how, at times, like Sheshri said, that motherhood is not cherished by others, and it is only the mother who cherishes her motherhood, and at the same time she slowly becomes an exhausted mother, because nobody is appreciating the amount of work and the amount of effort that goes into being a mother. So here I can understand Sheshri's feelings, and the way she shared it from her heart. It's really very enlightening, and I guess our viewers would really understand and take a lot away from this. And moving on to our next speaker, my next question is for Sunita. Again, she's a working mother, and she has two children, both are boys. So, Sunita, you are a center head also of Tender Petals Geetanagar Center, and you are balancing your professional responsibilities with your emotional and practical needs of your child. How do you do that?
Thank you, ma'am, for the beautiful question. I'm balancing my role as a center head plus a mom, which is requiring a simultaneous professional expertise and a responsive parenting. First, if I come to my role as a center head, I consider every child of my center as my own child. I, if I consider every child as my own child, then only I can make the child first feel safe, that yes, it is the safest place to visit the school wherein I can have a good mother or a good ma'am, where I can each and everything I can share with her, and she or he spends a lot of time in that center by developing his or her emotional, physical, mental, every development. It is my sole responsibility to look after the each and every responsible challenges which each and every one in my center is facing. Yes, as a mother of two, I do sometimes feel guilt that I'm not able to give my kids quantity time, but at least I try to give them quality time. I have a boy who is 15, and the younger one, he is just 5 years old. So there is a huge gap, and it becomes a difficult to grow a teenager rather than just a young child. It becomes very difficult for me to understand the emotions, the requirements of my teenager. But I do try to raise my kids not as a mother, but as a friend. I try to give them beautiful lessons, not just bookish knowledge, because Everyone can read books and earn degrees, but it is in this today's challenging world, it is becoming difficult to become a good human being. So the first prior responsibility of mine being a mother is that I give quality time to my kids where I can give them a good huge knowledge about not only about books but also making them responsible citizen of our country. And coming back to my professional life, I always try to balance the overall development of my center by giving each and every child the best I can. So, with this, I end my answer. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sunita. Very beautifully said that safe place, the safest place for the child when they come out of their homes from the arms of their mothers is a preschool when they're so young and they are not able to take care of themselves because they're very little. And what we do with them actually forms a full impression about who they are and what they are, because that is a time when their brain synapses are developing, and how we treat them actually defines what they think about themselves in future also. So it is very, very important that, which Sunita said, that as a center head, she does her work with dedication, with responsibility, and at the same time, being a mother of two children, two sons, who one is a teenager and one is just a little, toddler, a little bigger than toddler, kindergarten child. So she has to balance. So she's experiencing both the worlds together, one as a mother of a grown up and one as a mother of who still needs a lot of her attention and care. And yes, a friend is being a friend as a mother is very important. I would always advise everyone that if we are friends with our children, which my mother was with us, we could always go back to her and we would always know that there is somebody who is having our backs. And that is really, really important. And thank you so much, Sunita, for sharing your wonderful feelings and your, how you're balancing it all. My question next is for Neeta, who is also an educator and a mother. And as an educator and a mother to a kindergartner, how do you balance your professional knowledge with your personal parenting instincts? Neeta, over to you.
Thank you for the question, ma'am. As a एडुकेटर ऑफ किंडरगार्टन सो मैं ऐसे बैलेंस करती हूँ कि टीचर माइंड कि एज ए टीचर हम लोग स्कूल में मतलब जो हम लोग का माइलस्टोन होता है बच्चों का उन पे और ऑब्जर्वेशन लर्निंग स्ट्रेटजी इन सब में हम लोग फोकस करते हैं लेकिन एज ए मदर घर आने के बाद तो माँ ही स्नैक्स रेडी करो बेबी के साथ थोड़ा प्यार से रखो वो सब स्टोरी बट ऐसे ही लेकिन जब वो कभी कभी बच्चे टेंट्रम करता है नखरे दिखाता है तब एज ए टीचर माइंड मेरे माइंड में आता है कि नहीं बच्चे अटेंशन सीकिंग कर रहा है थोड़ा उसे खुद से रेगुलेट होने के लिए टाइम दो उसके बाद जाके उसको उसके साथ बैठो खेलो और जानने की कोशिश करो कि वो क्यों ऐसा कर रहा है लेकिन एज ए मॉम माइंड आता है नहीं नहीं अभी जाना है उसके पास और जाके उसको पूछना है कि क्या हुआ है लेकिन उस टाइम जाने से वो और नखरे दिखाएंगे और तभी मतलब एक्चुअल रीजन क्या है उनका कि वो ऐसा मतलब चिड़चिड़ा गुस्सा ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है तब नहीं पता चलेगा क्योंकि वो ऑलरेडी गुस्से में है वो नखरे दिखा रहा है सो एज ए मतलब टीचर वो जो होता है हम लोग का कि वो टीचर्स का एज ए किंडर गार्डन नॉलेज वो मैं एज ए मदर वो पे यूज करती हूँ एज ए पेरेंटिंग पर एज ए टीचर कि मॉम एज ए टीचर मुझे ये भी एक फायदा हुआ है कि सॉफ्टवेयर टीचर बनने में मुझे कि यस बच्चे को अभी माँ ही चाहिए तो माँ की तरह उसे थोड़ा प्यार करना चाहिए एज ए स्टूडेंट को जब उन लोग को चोट आता है तो कई मतलब इमोशनली सपोर्ट के लिए एज ए मॉम मुझे उसमें भी हेल्प हो रहा है कि हाँ टीचर मतलब एज ए मॉम ही होना चाहिए क्योंकि वो लोग सब छोटे बच्चे हैं 5 years सो उन सब में भी मैं अपना मतलब किंडरगार्टन जो नॉलेज है वो सब यूज करती हूँ तो स्कूल ज्वाइन करने के बाद एज ए किंडरगार्टन टीचर्स सो मुझे इसमें भी थोड़ा हेल्प हुआ कि ओवर थिंकिंग मदर होने से क्योंकि कंपेयर नहीं करती हूँ अभी मैं बच्चे को दूसरों बच्चों के साथ सो दैट्स इट यही सब मतलब टेक्निक में यूज करती हूँ एज ए मदर पेरेंट्स की तरफ से थैंक यू
Thank you, Nita. Very beautifully said that, yeah, playway method of learning. As a mother and also as a teacher, we have to, incorporate learning in children through playway. And you also very beautifully said that understanding the child's emotion, understanding the child's emotional balance, and helping them to regulate emotionally is very important, not only as a mother, but also as a teacher in a classroom. And soft skills you have learned as a teacher, so definitely it's your profession, and at the same time your motherhood journey is aligning, for which reason it will benefit both the children in your classroom as well as your own child. So there's a lot of training we give in Tender Petals as well, where we are talking about child psychology to understanding how the brain develops, the brain architecture. So we do so much of training that our teachers are also, they are like now more compassionate mothers. And when they come into a classroom, even somebody is not a mother, she's a young teacher who is not even married, but they carry these emotions of compassion and love and soft skills. Thank you, Neeta, for sharing your thoughts as a mother and as a facilitator of Tender Petals Downtown Center. And my next question is to Shanti. Coming to advice now, because we have heard about the parenting journey, we have heard about the experiences that we are having as mothers. Now, Shanti, what advice would you give mothers of preschoolers who are currently in the thick of early childhood parenting challenges?
Thank you, ma'am, for this question. Actually, I am working in this preschool for the last 20 years. So I'm seeing parents day to day basis, and before COVID, I would say parents come up with the different questions. They were not having that much of pressure with screen time and all the other other kind of social media pressure. But these days, kids are very much oriented with more of screen time. So parents also do not know, like, if they want to reduce the screen time, they show more of tantrums. So they don't know how to control the tantrums. So most of the mothers come out with a question how to control the tantrum, and my child doesn't eat without seeing the screen. So this kind of questions we generally face in our career. So what I would suggest in like general is feeling tired, feeling angry, feeling not feeling well is very normal. But dealing with 3 to 5 year old child is very hard. So we have to patiently deal with them. Like we have to give them the routine, how to segregate the timing, like morning from the waking up time, sleeping, eating, even the screen time also we have to give them in a routine way, so that they understand. If while saying, if they don't understand, we have to picturize the thing. We have to show the picture, this time is the eating time, this is the sleeping time, so that it gets regulate. And the children, whenever they do this kind of tantrums, we have to calm down and observe them. Then once they calm down, we slowly go sit with them and make them understand excessive screen time or excessive doing any of the activity is not good for health, good for eyes. So we have to calm down and say, like, when we convey it with the love and care, they heard and they understand also, because children also want the attention from the parents, so that they get to play with them, because they want the mother time, they want to play with the mother, they want to spend time with the mother. So what we can do is we always spend time with them with a quality time, instead of giving high value things or screen excessive screen time. We can play with them, and we can tell them stories, so that they learn a lot of languages through that. And they when we play with them, they share their things and they solve their problem. So many things happens while playing, while listening to stories or saying the story. So many things they are learning. We have to come under control everything, so that we can handle them easily. This is what I see day to day basis with all most of the mothers. They get confused with how to handle the kids. So I would suggest that from my point of view. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Very, very important, because screens we have seen already, the results are coming in front of us. And initially we did not understand, but eventually we have understood how chaotic the mind becomes the more exposure to screen. The more chaotic a child is, the more restless a child is. and they are not able to concentrate. So there's a lot of down effects of screen. But at the same time, if we can use the screen from time to time for good work, that is needed, because technology is something we cannot take out from our child's lives now. It has become a part of our system. But at the same time, monitoring is very important, which Shanti pointed out very rightly. And engagement of the mother with the child, which is so important, because a mother needs to be engaged. And what we do is we are only telling them that do this, do that, but yet we are not engaging with them, for which reason they again go back to the screens only. So we have to be very, very careful about that. And then experiential learning, she mentioned, which is learning by doing. So most of the times, children in school, at least they come and they do the things. At least in Tender Petals, our curriculum is such that they are learning and doing, and so they are learning. And experiential learning is very, very a part of our process and importance, and the play way of learning. So here, what happens is, Neeta also mentioned about it, that play is important while a child is learning. And so for little children, it is so important for mothers to understand it is not about sitting in the table and studying, but also learning through play and by doing. So my last speaker of the day is Indrani Chaudhary Deka, and she is a part of our system, the Tender Petal system. So my question to Indrani is, given your experience in early childhood education, what qualities do you feel are most important to instill in your child during the kindergarten years? Over to you, Indrani.
Thank you, ma'am, for the question. Most importantly, I believe in today's world, children need to develop resilience. From what we have seen recently, that students from IIT or any higher education institutions, once they face failures or some kind of challenges, they take the extreme step, like suicide, or maybe they go under depression or other mental health issues. So I believe that if we build resilience, if we make our children comfortable with mistakes, if we praise their efforts, not the end result, I believe they will be comfortable with making mistakes, and they will not stop from learning. And it will not stop, it will not develop fear of failures. So that way, it will build resilience in them, and they will become comfortable with mistakes. And later on, when they face challenges in their life, they will be able to handle those challenges smoothly. That is the first thing I believe. Next is, I believe, decision making skills. As a mother, I believe when my child grows up and it's time for her to take some crucial decisions for herself, I don't want her to look up to someone else to make the decision for her. She should be able to take those decisions for herself. So, as kindergartens, we can develop that skill in our child by asking them different questions on which, giving them options like which color do you like, which game do you like. Give them options and they will choose the particular color or the game. That way, in their kindergarten years, they will be able to decide for themselves which color they like or which game they like, which food they like. Later on, when they grow up, it will develop their decision making abilities. And as they grow up, it will help in taking crucial decisions in their life. And number three, I believe empathy. In our society, we see that people lack empathy towards others. They do not put themselves into others' shoes and try to understand the struggles or the pain that other people are facing in their life. So I believe if we help our children, like when they play a game, if we encourage them to take turn while playing games, if we ask our children to help at home while setting up the table or doing our dishes or whatever household chores we do, if we encourage our children to take part in those activities, I believe they will develop helping, sharing, uh, likewise empathy, and they will grow up to be kind human beings. I think so. And the next last one is, I want children to be curious rather than complying to the laws or the rules which are set up. Once children learn, like, to ask the questions why, if we don't shut them off, there are many children, even my child, she is quite curious about lots of things. She asks me lots of questions. So rather than shutting her off, I answer those questions. I see how far she goes with her questions. So once they start the habit of asking why, gradually they will also learn how, like how it works. So I think that will develop their critical thinking, and they will be creative enough in later life, because we see that gradually our world is moving into AI, and when they grow up, most of the jobs it will require critical thinking, creativity. So if we develop curiosity in our children, they'll be able to uh, create a successful career out of that. I believe so. So I think, ma'am, that's all I need to say about the skills I want the children to develop in their kindergarten years.
Very clearly mentioned the skills, the resilience, which is very, very core. Because without resilience, it is very difficult to survive. And in today's world, it is so different. Every time we fall, we have to get back. And we used to hear that story about how Abraham Lincoln got inspired by that spider who was building the nest and the web, and every time it was falling, it was rising. So that is how we are, teaching our children to be resilient by telling them stories about giving them the option to again bounce back, which is very important. Decision making, all the 21st century skills that Indrani already mentioned, like decision making, and it is important that we have to also inculcate curiosity and empathy in our children. The world needs a lot of empaths. Everybody now is different. They are only thinking about themselves. But at the same time, in order to be good human beings, we need to have empathy in our lives and in our thoughts and in our actions. And curiosity. Curiosity is something which is very important in order to go ahead in life. Because if we are not curious, we will never learn new things. And if we do not learn new things tomorrow, we will not be able to come up with new ideas and able to be adjust to new situations. So I thank all of this. Today we've come to the end of this webinar, and I thank all our speakers for joining us today and bringing to the table so many thoughtful things that they have shared. And it is from various perspectives, not only as an educator or somebody who is a professional, but as a mother, as a as a leader, as a entrepreneur. We have shared our stories, and everything has come from the heart. And everybody went an extra mile to actually share their innermost feelings. And I feel that this is a very uh, interesting as well as very heart touching webinar, because it has given us a lot of perspectives, but at the same time, we have spoken as mothers and we have spoken from our hearts. So I'm sure all our viewers have a lot of takeaways from today's webinar. And I thank the team of Tender Petals for joining us today in the ECDF platform, which always works towards uh, bringing in the best practices of early childhood education, which also includes motherhood, which also includes good motherhood, which is quality motherhood, and a mother who is always there for the child. And I feel that today the fraternity of Tender Petals has joined in and done a very good job in sharing their experiences. Thank you so much for joining us today, and happy Mother's Day to all of you. We are all proud mothers, and we are all best mothers, I would say, in our own ways. So thank you so much. And until next time, stay happy, stay blessed, and happy Mother's Day.